Welcome back to the Pinkenstein special. Today we're going to be showing you guys how to make the thing I made most recent post of an F1 car got a couple of likes. Is school still on? First, we have to get the scene set up, right? And we have to have the whole idea of the project. Let me tell you, I am a Russian super soldier, some sort of specimen when it comes to 3D. Tell me another 3D artist that could just pump out 10 reels a day. I could stop doing 3D for the whole summer and I'd still have shit to post. That's the crazy part about it. Anyways, back to the whole main idea. On the motion designers page, I saw this guy doing some sort of F1 animation, right? And let me tell you, that shit went super viral. My core idea for this whole thing was essentially having an F1 car with streaks in the background, okay? So let's get started with that. So, what do you gotta do when you have the idea? You have to get the assets or you have to make them or some shit. Bro, this is getting so much hotter. So what did I do? Went on Sketchfab and simply typed in F1 racing car. Found that puppy right there. So with that F1 racing car, it's quite simple from there. Blender Kit has a whole asset library. Search what you want, it finds the assets out of their library and you download it. There is a free and paid version, but I paid for the paid version because some of that shit actually heat. So let me tell you the road that I used for the road, right? That shit's in the free version, okay? And quite honestly, I'm just as shocked as you are. When my shit renewed, when I didn't pay that shit, I was thinking, how am I gonna get this road? Well, let me tell you, this asset library came in clutch. It's essentially a geometry node system where you get a curve and they can make the road follow the curve and it's fully set up. So that's what I did. This whole scene goes like this. You have the car, you have the character, you have the road, and it's going in a straight line. It's as simple as that. All right, so here we go. So once you have the car and the road, what you gotta do is, with the road, you gotta edit the curve. So go into edit mode and delete that fucking shit that they got there. Make a path, right? And with that path, you just gotta scale it up in edit mode, so that way it doesn't scale up randomly. And that should make your road longer, right? And you can edit the parameters, that's what I did. So you have to make the border width and the lane width essentially longer so that you can put shit on it, or so that it's more realistic. And then once you do that with the border width, it's quite easy from there. Honestly, I didn't know what those things at the parks that you see where the crowd sits on it, that's called like a bleacher or something, right? Yeah, I had to search up the name because I didn't fucking know the name of that. But let me tell you, with that, you gotta just array that bitch on the side of your road, right? And once you array that bitch on the side of your road, you have to essentially rig the car somehow. So some of these people like to really overcomplicate rigging and stuff, but I'll tell you a simple way, okay? First you have to separate all the wheels, and once you do that, once you've separated all the wheels, you have to make the origin of the wheels in the center. And with that being said, but if it has some sort of swivel where it goes like, whoom, that's an issue. Because if your car is moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and there's some sort of swivel or like the center mass isn't perfectly aligned, the motion blur just gets so cattywampus. Let me tell you, I do not like things that are cattywampus. Just like the time where, keep in mind, 500,000 views, 500,000 views, and my name is fucked up. So how you would fix it is essentially, you don't do it through the whole object. First, let's say the wheel isn't all one object and there's separate parts. Press L on the disc, press Shift S, and it's the bottom option. Cursor to selected. To get out of edit mode, go to the tools panel on the right. There should be 3 different options. Select origin, select the tire, press Shift S. I'll put a screen recording on how to do it, but essentially that's how you do it. Once you got that with all 4 wheels.
So this guy is missing the fundamentals, so let's correct him on that, okay? So basically, how you do it if you had, quote unquote, all 4 wheels. Right now we only have 2, but we can make 4 actually. So basically, this is how you do it, okay? Just all you gotta do the first one, the second one, the third one, select all 3, then select the one that's rigged, okay? And then you gotta right click it, then copy all drivers to selected. There you go. Now they're all rigged. See that? Now they all move. These ones are backwards, but you know, it's easy to fix. Just make number 3 and then do the same thing, so just copy it. Alright, there you go. Now we have the fully rigged car.
Seems like a long process the first time, but trust me, once you figure it out, it's quite simple. Okay, it's really easy to do, right? And it's so fast, I could do this shit in like 30 seconds at most. That's just me rigging a car. Next video is gonna be me rigging a car speed run, just to show you how easy it is. I'm gonna try the sub 30 timing. Now, once you've rigged the car, or once you have the center mass, you have to select one of the tires. And let's say you got the car from Sketchfab, you have to change the rotation method. It should be like quadrular bullshit. What you gotta do is essentially, instead of making it irregular, quadrular, whatever the fuck, you gotta make it XYZ origin, or XYZ whatever. The first option under that bullshit option, right? And do that for all 4 of the tires if that's the case with you. But if you were lucky enough to not get that, you're set. So find the tire that the wheel will be spinning perfectly on, right?
This is boring as hell.
Right? So that means, and it's perfectly spinning on, just by testing, so you go, see, that shit moves it like this, you Y, that shit moves it like this, so you undoubtedly know that shit is X-axis, right? So X-axis moves it like this. So if you want that.
Alright, we're good now.
Right, with that, essentially all you gotta do, I gotta pick up the pace. Essentially all you gotta do is right click, add driver, okay? Once you add the driver, it's easy pickings from there. Type in var times -3 or +3, depending on which way your car is facing, right? And you may be saying, hey Josh, I did this shit, but it still ain't moving. Let me tell you why it still ain't moving. You gotta select your car origin as the object. Is this a kid on a bike? Some of you guys might still say, Josh, it still ain't moving. And what I gotta say for that is, change your axis that you're reading the translation on, right? So the axis that translation on is by default x-axis.
Life could be a dream if I can.
And for some of you guys, that might be fine. Let's say the axis is that means real fast. But the car is moving on the x-axis.
Guys, if you don't want to bore yourself out, for a small donation of $9.99 to my Patreon, you can not listen to all this shit, alright? And for a small donation of a subscription to my channel, 100% free, 100% legal, 100% ethical. Now, last thing I gotta say is, if you guys like this video, you guys might be getting paid. Not 100%, but you might be. Alright guys, it's that time of the year again, where bugs start coming out, and shit gets super annoying. Alright, stop it.
Guys, let me tell you this right now. If your car tires aren't sticking to the floor, it looks like it's either sliding, your values in the VAR are wrong, and what's more likely happening is that you've scaled up your car. The scale isn't at 1. Why I'm saying this is because, and she looked exactly the same. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So essentially, you have your rigged car, right? You copied all the things, and you may be thinking, woohoo, I rigged this car. Here she is right now. Thank God that wasn't her. But you may be saying, now I can do Aiden edits and all the drifts and stuff. And let me tell you, if you want to drift, gotta get the ERGB packs, you know what I'm saying? My Patreon, down below, that shit, I'm gonna be supplying some characters. I'm gonna send you everything. I'm gonna send you all the assets, the project files. So you got the character, you got the car, you got the scene set up, you got the car rigged. You may be looking at all this and saying, Josh, what about those light streaks that you did on your video? How did you do that shit? So, this is how I did it, quite frankly, okay? I'm gonna go full force in the back of this truck. Oh, hi. Here we go. Right now, I'm being a speed racist. See, here's what you gotta do essentially. Down below, for my Patreon, you're gonna get the .zip add-on file. Now with that add-on file, drag that bitch into Blender and adjust the settings, okay? Because I'll tell you right now what settings I used. For that video, what I did is...
Guys, I hate to break the news to you, but it's in my Patreon.
And with that, guys, I feel like I'm about to throw up, but I can't stop this video right here. We gotta finish it. Essentially what you gotta do is add the camera movement, okay? That's gonna be in the next video. See you guys next time.